Hi everybody, Brent Jones, NuHomeSource Realty. Let's do a quick Facebook Live. And by the way, I think that is actually better. Isn't that better than that? I think so. Let's do a quick Facebook Live about home inspections in this crazy market that we're in. A lot of buyers are giving away or foregoing their right to have the property inspected just to try to be as competitive as possible. Let's talk about the good and the bad of that. Before we get started, click notifications, follow me, like this video, and leave a comment. So in this insane market that we're in, buyers are doing whatever they can to be as competitive as possible. Overpaying for the houses by many tens of thousands of dollars, not asking for anything, and part of that not asking for anything is not asking for an option period. So in the contract, there's a built-in opportunity for your realtor to build in an option period. It can be 3, 5, 7 days. In this market, typically 3 days. But what that does is, once you have an executed contract with the seller, then you have whatever you negotiated. Again, in this market, a 3-day option period. That would give you time to have the property inspected. It literally is what it sounds like. It's an option period. You have the option to terminate the contract. And the sellers know that, so they don't want you to have a long option period, because if you go under contract and you have a 5 or 7 day option period, then they're quote unquote married for you for that period of time. And then you could, the state of Texas lets you option out and exercise your option to terminate the contract for any reason. I mean, literally, you could wake up in a bad mood and say, I don't want to buy a house. You don't have to even give cause, and sellers know that. So the longer the option period, the less competitive your offer is going to be. So with that in mind, and to go to one extreme, a lot of buyers are not even having an option period. It's like, hey, if you'll accept our offer, we'll go straight from active to pending. So the good of that is that it is going to make your offer really competitive. The bad side of that is you're buying a house and you really don't even know what's going on. It may look pretty. Maybe the walls have been painted, new flooring. Maybe the kitchen's been redone, so the seller has put a lot of lipstick on it. But what's going on mechanically, structurally? Be kind of like you buying a car, and you're going to buy a car and you're never even going to lift the hood on it first. You're going to buy a pre-owned car and you're never even going to lift the hood or have a mechanic take a look at it before you sign on the dotted line. Really? So there are horror stories about buyers that are waiving their right to have the property inspected, and then they move in, and guess what? 3 to 6 to 9 months later, here goes the roof is leaking, and the hot water heater is gone out, and the HVAC is not blowing cold air, and there's electrical issues and plumbing issues and possibly even foundation issues. So, I mean, I know you want to be as competitive as possible, but if you were my client, I would caution you against giving away your right. If you have a really strong offer and you had a really short option period, that should suffice in order for you to get a contract. I would just be really leery of you buying a house with no idea of what's going on back behind the walls. So, and I know a lot of buyers are doing it, and you can search on YouTube about all the buyer's remorse now of buyers doing whatever they could to be as competitive as possible, waiving their right to have the property inspected, and then they move in and, oh, good Lord, it's a money pit. So, my advice would be, make your offer as competitive as possible and have as short an option period as possible. There's a lot of good inspectors in DFW. Brian Fox with Level Up Home Inspection is one of the best. A lot of home inspectors know that you're going to have an extremely short option period, so they're going to make themselves available Saturdays, Sundays, whatever it takes. They know you're going to have a short option period, and they will accommodate that. So anyway, just a little bit about that. We need to have some sanity. We need to have a little bit of common sense. I want you to get a house, but I don't want you to buy a money pit. So just use a little bit of sanity when it comes to writing up offers. We are seeing signs that the market is beginning to slow down, and it needs to slow down. We can't continue to keep going up with buyers making ridiculous offers and offering to pay for the seller's moving costs and all this kind of stuff. So we're seeing signs that the market is beginning to turn to be more quote unquote normal, which would be houses that would be on the market more than a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks. There might even be a price reduction, and you're not going to be competing with 35 other offers. We need that with a lot of things that are going on internationally and with the economy and with the Feds raising interest rates. We're seeing that the market is beginning to cool, and it needs to cool. But anyway, back to the point of this Facebook Live was, do your due diligence. I would just caution you against waiving your right to buy, to get a home inspection. You need to do some due diligence. You want a home that you and your family can live in for years to come. You don't want a money pit. If I can do anything to be of help, Brent Jones, NuHomeSource Realty. I've been in North Texas for 32 years doing real estate. Google me. I have a 98% approval rating on Google. I'll be happy to help any way that I can. Brent Jones, NuHomeSource Realty. You can text me, call me, whatever I can do to be of help. 214-649-4528. 214-649-4528. Have a great day. Bye-bye.